Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I am here again doing another album review with you, our wonderful audience. Today, we are going to be doing and featuring one of my favorite artists slash bands of all time, Noel Gallagher, and his band, the High Flying Birds, and their new album, his fourth studio album since leaving Oasis, which is crazy to me. It's called Council Skies, and we have our favorite Oasis brother return with the High Flying Birds, and it's a reflective record born from the pandemic and a love of the town of Manchester. My love for Oasis and Noel goes back 25 years, and I have seen them twice live, in Philly in 2001 and in Virginia, Fairfax, in 2008. I've seen Noel once as well in 2019 in Philly, and I'm hoping to see him at Merriweather Post Pavilion this year. On to the album. The first song, we are starting off with I'm Not Giving Up Tonight. This song, interestingly enough, was originally a track called Daisies off Who Built the Moon, but never took off until now. But according to Noel, will never be played live because, according to him, it's a bastard to sing. The strings and chorus are a nice touch too, but the bridge and the trumpets really let this song soar. My favorite lyrics on this song: if you want me to stay, child, I can be the port from the storm outside. And I just wanted to say, child, that I'm not giving up tonight. That leads us to our second track off the album, Pretty Boy. 11 songs, and this is just under 48 minutes, and they also did a deluxe edition as well, but I'm just featuring the standard 11 track. So on to track 2, Pretty Boy. I really like the use of a drum machine in this track, and featuring Johnny Marr on guitar makes this my favorite song on the album. I love the tension, and the bass just punishes this song. And just like the album in general, Noel's voice is powerful and defining. Wow, oh wow, ladies and gentlemen. This track, there's just something about it that just connects with me. I love it. Pretty Boy. Which moves on to Dead to the World. Sweeping and emotional, with strings placed nicely, and Noel singing in his best head voice. His version of a lullaby that hits just the right chords. My favorite lyrics: gonna write you a song, won't take me long. You can change all the words and still get them wrong. And the story behind those lyrics were inspired by an overnight stay at a hotel in Argentina. And the fans would sing to him Oasis and Noel Gallagher tracks, sometimes with the wrong lyrics. This is personally Noel's favorite track on the album, Dead to the World. Which leads us to track 4, Open the Door, See What You Find. What a positive message just in the title. Ladies and gentlemen, this has a classic Oasis feel to it, but it reminds me of the Decemberists. So we're going from Manchester all the way to Seattle, Washington with the Decemberists. But for some reason, that's just kind of the feel that I got with this song. And again, featuring Johnny Marr on guitar. The strings used to accentuate the melody in this inspirational song that really takes off during the choruses, with the ooh-la-las cascading as Noel belts this song out. We move on to Trying to Find a World That's Been and Gone, Part 1. Very long title, interesting Part 1. The beginning instrumental eerily sounds like Talk Tonight. And it's part one because, according to Noel, it had this second part to it where the drums came in and the big production. But Noel had a moment of clarity in the studio and went back to the original demo. And that is what we hear. Strings again float over this beautifully sounding song. Easy Now is our next track. Easy Now, ladies and gentlemen. I like this mid-tempo song with the chorus and the strings again, but I secretly wonder out loud if this song would have sounded better if his brother Liam would have sang it. I do like the Pink Floyd-esque last 45 seconds of the song. Really well done. It really kind of showcases the band's chops, but I really do wonder if Liam would ever cover this song, or yeah, at some point if they ever get back together, if maybe this would be a song that they would do together. So that leads us to the title track off the album, Council Skies. I really like the percussion on this track, and the bridge kind of has this cosmic vibe to it as Noel reflects on his youth in his hometown. I like the bursts of energy in the song too to keep it fresh, and the musical ending, of course, is a nice touch. Which leads us to There She Blows, with an exclamation point, which I think is hilarious. The pounding drums and the bass line are definite highlights, and I like how it finishes with the chorus and the musical ending once again. And it picks up the pace for a song with a silly song title, There She Blows. Oh no. Which, moving on, Love is a Rich Man, which I think some would argue, but again, I think it's a funny title. This song, I bet, sounds great live. I love the pace the drums provide, and the horns are emphasizing the beat just really nicely. My favorite lyrics on this track, all of the love and the power and the glory. Sounds like a Bible verse. Every time we kiss heaven is here. You are the star of my favorite story. And if I must confess, let me be clear. It's great stuff. Which leads us to our last two tracks. Think of a Number. Again, we get another great bass line in this track, and I like his voice as well. This is a song that showcases the band, and we finally get a guitar solo. And at just under 6 minutes long, this is by far the longest song on the album, which is interesting as the next to last song to have the longest track on the album. But sequencing wise on this album, just so I can take a break for a second, it is a little odd to me. And even Noel said that I'm Not Giving Up Tonight, the opening track, he actually wanted that to be the closing track. And this song, We're Gonna Get There in the End, he wanted actually as the opening track. So a little flip-flop. And I also do feel like Pretty Boy, for being kind of like, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, being the best song on the album, it felt like that was a little early in the album. Like I would have liked to seen that like on track 3 or 4. But again, that's just, potatoes and potatoes. So anyway, we're going to get there in the end, or tomatoes and tomatoes. I love, again, the drumming and the percussion on this album. I love the pace again of this song and the bounciness. And Noel just sounds amazing. What a way to end the album. And I'm always hard on my last tracks of albums because I think they should be like, a defining moment that you kind of remember, because that's the last thing you remember when you listen to an album. What a way to end the album. Such a positive message too, with those horns coming through, and another song that will just sound awesome live. So there you have it, my album review of Council Skies, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds' 4th studio album. And like I said, 11 songs, just under 48 minutes. It's tough for me to get real excited about either of Noel or Liam's solo releases, which, as we say in life, the sum is better than the parts. But Noel has carried on, and this latest effort certainly does not disappoint. The front cover artwork is actually of Noel's equipment set up on the center circle of Main Road. That is where the demolished stadium of his beloved Manchester City in Moss Side, which is now a housing estate, which is what you see in the background. So I thought that was a nice touch, especially on an album where he professes, his love for his hometown, and kind of it being a reflective album, and just, getting some interesting perspective from him. I think it's appropriate that the album cover is appropriate for, what the album is. So it's a good representation. And again, I think it's well done. So Noel, congratulations on a great fourth studio album. I hope you liked this review as much as I liked doing it. Follow us on Facebook, on social media, Instagram. Make sure you to like that, hit the subscribe button, like our channel, because that only helps us and it helps these bands as well. Yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. I've been Dogg. You've been great. This is the Music Lab Podcast.